Ads are meant to attract customers, but these ads did the opposite. They disturbed viewers so much the TV stations had to pull them off the air. These are commercials banned for being too disturbing. We're going to show you the footage, we'll uncover the backstories behind each one, and save the worst for last. So it is almost the end of the year, guys, and my goal is still the same, to increase the number of videos I put out for you guys without sacrificing quality. So it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I promise to do my absolute best and make the best videos I can for you guys. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. The ad, there was two rules. In 1983, a company wanted to sell candy to kids. To do that, they created a commercial. The main character was someone every child already knew, Humpty Dumpty. But the version of Humpty Dumpty that appeared in that commercial wasn't cute. It looked like something straight out of a horror movie. The commercial was for a candy called Kinder Surprise. It was an egg-shaped chocolate with a small toy hidden inside. The product wasn't new. Kids already loved it. To keep that success going, Kinder wanted to launch a new ad campaign. They also wanted a mascot children would recognize instantly. Humpty Dumpty was the obvious choice. He was famous, shaped like an egg, and loved by children all over the world. But there was one major issue. Kinder couldn't legally use Humpty Dumpty. Copyright laws blocked them from putting him in the commercial. They needed to create their own version. It could look like Humpty Dumpty, but it needed a different name. So they invented the Eggman. He was supposed to be friendly, but he turned out super creepy. One person described him as a fleshy man-egg with childlike features. The Eggman had tiny eyes and an insanely wide mouth. He spoke in a high, squeaky voice. The biggest problem was how real he looked. The Eggman wasn't animated like a cartoon. He was a hand-built puppet controlled by a professional puppeteer. He blinked, chewed, and moved like a real human, but with the body of an egg. The result was disturbing on so many levels. Despite that, Kinder decided to put him on television. The Kinder Surprise commercial aired in 1983. It began with the Eggman sitting on a wall. It was an obvious reference to Humpty Dumpty's nursery rhyme. Almost immediately, the Eggman started shouting nonsense words.
Gibbo shaky. Me unscrabbly. Shock-a-doobie!
He unwrapped the Kinder Surprise and found the toy inside. All this time, he was still speaking gibberish.
Yodel yum and choco scrum with multi-pump dice! Oh, grubbly!
His excitement kept building. The Eggman waved his arms wildly. Then he lost his balance and fell backward off the wall. It was a direct nod to Humpty Dumpty's fall. The Kinder logo appeared, the commercial ended. It was meant to be silly and fun, but instead it came across as bizarre and unsettling. Not long after it aired, complaints started pouring in. Parents said their kids were terrified of the Eggman's creepy face. And it wasn't just a few kids, it was thousands. Eventually, TV stations had to act. After many complaints, networks stopped airing the ad. It was unofficially banned. Eventually, Kinder decided to pull the commercial completely. By then, it already had a reputation as one of the creepiest candy ads ever made. But that wasn't the end of the story. Decades later, the footage resurfaced on YouTube. People couldn't believe it was real. Overnight, the Eggman became a meme. YouTubers created parody versions. Fans even tried to translate his gibberish.
Yodel yum and choco scrum with multi-pump dice!
The translation was obviously fake, but it captured what everyone thought. The ad was absolutely weird. Kinder tried to bury this ad. Didn't work. Decades later, it's still everywhere. Your personal information works the same way. Once it's out there online, it never really goes away on its own. A few years ago, someone dug up my old private data and used it to threaten me. I tried removing my information from every website that I could find, but I gave up because there were hundreds of them. That's because these sketchy websites are profiting off of your information. They sell it to literally anyone who pays, and it's completely legal, which is insane to me. But if you ask them to remove your data, they're also legally required to take it down. But there are just way too many sites for you to do it yourself. That's why today's sponsor, Aura, exists. Aura figures out which data broker sites are selling your information, then takes password manager, which are all needed a condom. Obviously, they couldn't demonstrate that on TV. They needed another way to deliver their message, so they came up with a commercial that was meant to be funny. But the reaction wasn't what they expected. Instead of laughing, many viewers were offended. The commercial ended up being banned in multiple countries. Here's what happened. The ad was released in 2004. It stood out right away. Most condom ads at the time focused on romance or disease prevention, but Zazu went in a completely different direction. The ad opened inside a supermarket. A father was shopping with his young son. The boy slipped the bag of candy into the cart. The father removed it and put it back on the shelf. The boy frowned and tried again. Again, the father took it out. Realizing he wasn't getting the candy, the boy snapped. He starts having a full-blown temper tantrum. Other shoppers stared. The father looked embarrassed and defeated. Then 2 words appeared on the screen. Use condoms. It was short, shocking, and unforgettable. When the ad first aired in Belgium and France, people loved it. It was dark humor, but it was relatable. Once it reached English-speaking countries, the reaction changed. Critics said the message was inappropriate. They believed it mocked parenthood and portrayed children as a burden. Some labeled it disrespectful to families. Several broadcasters refused to air it. Before long, it was banned in several countries. But the controversy only made it more famous. People shared the ad on forums, blogs, and eventually YouTube. Many thought it was hilarious. It even won an award for its originality. Despite the backlash, Zazu's Little Boy commercial became a classic. This next ad shows how a joke becomes dangerous when people take it literally. The ad that hit too hard. In 1992, a TV commercial went viral in Britain. People couldn't stop talking about it. Many even called it one of the funniest ads ever made. But then, kids started reenacting the ad in real life, and within weeks, someone landed in the emergency room. Suddenly, people realized the ad wasn't just funny, it was dangerous. The story began with a drink called Tango Orange. It was basically orange soda, but the soda market was very competitive. Tango's biggest rival was Fanta, and Fanta was everywhere, on TV, in stores, and in almost every fridge. Tango needed something bold to grab attention, so they hired a top ad agency. At the time, most ads followed the same formula. A person used a product, and suddenly everything in their life got better. Tango's team flipped that idea. They asked, what if drinking Tango didn't make you better? What if it shocked you literally? That became the concept. Tango's flavor was so intense that it hit you with an unforgettable punch. To bring that idea to life, the team created a strange new character. They named him the Orange Man. His job was simple: appear out of nowhere and slap the person drinking Tango. Before settling on the slap, they tested other ideas. Originally, the Orange Man was going to punch the drinker. That was rejected as too violent. Next, they tried having him kick the person from behind. That was rejected too. Finally, they decided on a slap. It was risky, it was different, and soon it would cause serious trouble. They filmed the commercial and put it on TV. It began with 3 young men standing outside a corner shop. One of them cracked open a can of Tango and took a sip.
Hello, Tony. I think we might use a video replay here.
The video rewound like someone reviewing footage on tape. This time, viewers saw what really happened.
Oh, yes, we could be in for a quintessential Tango taste sensation here.
As soon as he took a sip, the Orange Man ran up and slapped him on both cheeks. The drinker was shocked. The voiceover called it super taste. Sensation. Then came the tagline.
You know when you've been tangoed.
The ad was an instant hit. You know when you've been tangoed became a national catchphrase. Adults quoted it at work, kids repeated it on playgrounds. Tango's sales skyrocketed. At one point, Tango outsold Fanta by almost 2-1. They obliterated their biggest rival. For the company, it was a massive win, but the win didn't last. Not long after the ad went viral, teachers noticed some something alarming. Kids were sneaking up behind classmates and slapping them on both cheeks. Then they would yell, "You've been tangoed." At first, schools thought it was harmless fun, but the tango slap kept getting harder. One morning, Tango's advertising team got a call from a hospital. A surgeon was on the line. He said, "I thought you'd like to know that I did an operation on a child this morning with a damaged eardrum." When I asked him what happened, he said, "I got tangoed." The company's joke finally caused a real injury. Tango executives were horrified. If word spread that their commercial was putting people in the hospital, it would destroy the brand. But it was too late. The story hit the news, and parents were furious. They accused Tango of glorifying violence. Schools across the UK started banning Tango from their premises. The company quickly pulled the commercial from television, but removing it wasn't enough. They still had to clean up the mess. Tango's team scrambled to recover. They still needed to advertise their drink, but they couldn't risk another scandal. So they made two new versions of the ad. In one, the orange man placed his hand on the Tango drinker's mouth and kissed it. In the other, the drinker saw the orange man coming and ran away. The team believed these safer versions would work just as well, but the public felt differently. The new ads didn't have the same impact. The original commercial, however, became legendary. People still remember it today. In the year 2000, the orange man ad ranked number 3 in Britain's list of the 100 greatest TV ads of all time. This next ad was supposed to inspire people, but it disgusted them. The ad, too insensitive for TV. In 2002, Microsoft was preparing to launch the Xbox across Europe, but there was one major roadblock. At the time, PlayStation dominated the gaming world. To compete, Xbox needed a commercial that would Shake things up, something that would make gamers take notice. Their team came up with an inspirational tagline: "Life is short, play more." It felt perfect. They even set aside about $50 million for the European launch. But when they turned that tagline into a commercial, it went terribly wrong. The ad was so controversial that even people who weren't gamers wanted it banned. The commercial opened in a hospital delivery room. A woman was in labor surrounded by doctors. She gave one final push, and the baby shot out of her belly like a missile. It smashed through the window and flew across the sky. Then something unusual happened. The baby started aging as it soared through the air. He became a child, then a teenager, then an adult. There were close-up shots of his thinning hair and aging teeth. Through it all, he kept screaming. Finally, he crash-landed into a grave. Then the tagline appeared, "Life is short, play more." It was clearly dark humor, a visual metaphor showing how quickly life passes. But when the ad aired, viewers weren't inspired, they were disgusted. The problem was simple. People didn't like the idea of using death to sell video games. Authorities in the UK received more than 100 complaints. One was from a grieving mother who recently lost her baby. After weeks of backlash, the authorities ruled that the ad could not be broadcast on British television unless the ending
رن على الجو واسأله اعطيك رقمه رقم الجو 7
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. هونداي هذه فيها واحد، كان في حد يساعد يا شباب زي العالية، ودي هي تقريبا فيها واحد، بين بعيد علي مش عارف فيها واحد ولا لا، كان في حد يساعد يا شباب.
ميار مواليد 2004 جانا السهرية وشدونا المقنعين، وبإذن الله آخر مرة نجي هنا وما عادش نعاودها، وإن شاء الله ربي يتوب علينا كلنا ويتوب على
والله يا حرام.
وشن حالك؟
ميامي.
لا شن حالك بالنيجيريا شنو؟ كيف جود مورنينج شن حالك بالنيجيريا نهار حرام؟ ايه
was changed. Microsoft refused. They insisted that the message was positive. Life is short, so make the most of it. Rather than change the commercial, they pulled it from television completely. It never aired again. Still, Xbox didn't step away from edgy marketing. In the years that followed, their marketing team kept making controversial ads. This next ad was so bad, people have been talking about it for 40 years. The ad that terrified a generation. In 1978, a new horror movie was about to hit theaters.